Hi everybody, this is Mama E, and I am going to be reviewing Nelly and Ashanti's new show called Nelly and Ashanti We Belong Together. You can watch this show on Peacock. It came out, so I watched the show, which was not in my plans, but I watched it and I'm glad I did. Um, Nelly and Ashanti were literally the soundtracks of a great time in my life. I am a millennium. I'll be turning 40 at the end of this year. And I'm going to review the first episode. This episode 1 is called Break Up to Make Up. And the episode opens with Nelly and Ashanti introducing themselves as a couple. And he's helping Ashanti out the car. Um, They're discussing that they are married now and they have a baby. Baby's name is KK. They're sharing laughs, and if Ashanti's doesn't do anything else, she's gonna laugh. Her laugh is so distinct and contagious. Um, she better not ever commit a crime because that laugh would give her away. In the next scene, they show Ashanti and Nelly in the car with the momager Tina. They are on their way to Ashanti's surprise birthday party. And I think he was talking to her like, oh, we're just going to have an intimate dinner. But turns out it was going to be a surprise birthday party. So they end up at Ashanti's surprise birthday party. And it was really pretty. It looked like it was like an island theme party. Because everyone knows Ashanti loves a good beach vacation. But she recently had the baby, so she wasn't going to be able to do that. So in this scene too, Nelly discussed his admiration for Ashanti's family being so close and how he grew up in a different way. Um, he discussed how Ashanti's family is so connected, and Nelly loves that because he didn't grow up that way. So the next scene was like really cute. They were explaining like how they met and how they reunited. So they said they met in 2000, way back in 2003, at the Grammys. Nelly asked for her autograph. Um, he was talking about liking seeing her on the Source magazine, and she briefly said like she liked his eyes. They were on and off for like 11 years, and they talked about that by the end of that relationship, they felt like they hated each other. Um, from how they explained it, it seemed like most of their problems stem from like communication issues and them being long distance most of the relationship. Nelly even said like at the end he felt like he explained it as him being heartbroken. So they reunited in 2021, I think it was, at the Versus battle with Ja Rule and Fat Joe. So Nelly said he saw Ashanti's mom first. So he saw the momager, Mama Tina. Um, and she said she was on the phone and was like, I think I saw that MFer. Like, that was so funny. Um, Nelly said that he felt the tension, but he thought he would break the ice by walking over and hugging her. They played that clip so many times of him and her hugging, and when they gave their friendly hug, she was like rubbing his back while hugging, and it was just funny how they played it so many times. Um, they talked about and showed how like it was an online frenzy of support of them needing to get back together or possibly get back together. And Ashanti said they had went on tour or something after that, and then they came to the realization of their problems that they had before wasn't really that big of a problem, and they were able to get over that. And at the end of that scene, he gave her earrings for her birthday. She seemed super excited about that. It was some huge earrings, and he joked about her always taking his earrings. Moving on to the next scene, they're at their temporary apartment in, I think it was in Rhode Island. It was in New York for sure. And so Nelly and Ashanti are at their temporary apartment, and it was so cute. She walked out holding her breast pumps and was singing, and Nelly nodding his head. He was so into it. They talked about their baby being planned. Um, he was no accident, and she was like real offended, like that was not a oops baby. Um, and then there was a little bit of Nelly walking out with the baby, and it was so cute. He was wearing a little do rag. Um, we don't get to see the baby, but she did explain like you can get this part of the baby, that part of the baby, and the baby's face was blurred out. Ashanti discussed like how this is her first baby, and then they show a picture of um, Nelly and his kids, and they showed a picture of like 4 kids, and I was like, how many kids does Nelly have? Because I knew about like 2, maybe 2 and a new, but I knew about 2, but I didn't know it was 4. But they do discuss that later in the episode, so I was able to put that together. But in this scene too, they talked about how they didn't discuss where they were going to live before getting married, and they were leading on to, because it's a temporary home, like a lot of stuff in it isn't really there, so the furniture was not comfortable at all. With them being in a temporary spot and the furniture not being theirs and not being comfortable, like the next scene is in a furniture store. They met with a salesman named Charles, and they're going to this furniture store, or might have been a mattress store, but they're shopping for mattresses. They actually got tucked in. I thought that was that was cute. That was funny. Like, I'm not at that level of money where I would get that type of treatment going mattress shopping. That first mattress that they laid on was $76,000. And Nelly reacted exactly like I would have. Like, get me up out of this bed. Ashanti was still in the bed. She was like, I'm tired. Like, they have beds that can actually go up to $1 million. And I thought that was crazy. The next one they looked at was, I think, $315,000. And it was funny too that they were not calling it beds or mattresses, they were calling it sleep instruments. That's something new for me. I'm not sure if they got the mattress or not. Um, Ashanti kind of hinted like, "Oh, I want this," but it didn't seem like they got the mattress. So we move on to Ashanti meeting with her stylist, I think it was. Um, she was talking about how she had her baby in July, but she was invited to perform at Motown's Christmas special, and that would be her first gig since having the baby. She was talking about her performance outfits before, how she would wear like short skirts or bodysuits, stuff that was very tight fitting. And because she just had the baby, she was not comfortable wearing that right now. So, and she expressed how she wants to get back in shape and she wants to get her BBK, which she explained as her body before KK. I thought that was cute. She goes back and forth, but like her main thing, she like expresses that she doesn't want to leave the baby. And I understand exactly how she feels, like especially your first baby, like there's so much that you want to control to protect that baby and you just don't want to leave that baby. Um Even she talks about like how she can't get in the gym because of the baby, like your whole schedule revolves around that baby. And it was real cute. Nelly was like, she looks great. She was talking about like like what she looks like now compared to before. And Nelly was like, "Oh, well, I think you look fantastic," or "I think you look great." And the kids, it was so cute. Um, at the end of the scene, she tries on a silver dress with the stylist, and I'm I think she thinks she doesn't look great, but like I thought she looked good in that outfit. We move on to Nelly and Ashanti in a restaurant going out to eat. Um, they discuss their salesman Charles in the mattress or sleeping instrument. They also talk about the Motown Christmas special, and she orders a drink, and he orders that same drink with vodka. I don't know what type of drink it was, but it looked really, really good. Um, she's not drinking because she's breastfeeding, and when they were talking about the Christmas special, Nelly talks about how he wishes he can go, and Ashanti at this moment is still back and forth if she even wants to go or not. Nelly jokes with her and says his kids never had serious accidents with him. Like, why don't you just leave the baby with him? And and this is too, I think, where the scene where he explains that he has 4 kids, but 2 of the kids are his own, and 2 of the kids are his sister's kids that he took on, which is why earlier I was like, I didn't know he had that many kids. And they discuss living in New York versus St. Louis. Um, she really wants to stay in New York, and he really does not want to live in New York. Like, he's more comfortable in St. Louis, and she's more comfortable in New York. Which is scary with them reuniting because, like, this is pretty much what tore y'all apart the first time. Like, the long distance, like, messed up the communication. And they had even said earlier in the episode that I don't know if I mentioned that they felt like if they lived closer together, that maybe they wouldn't have broke up the way they did. But at the end of that conversation, there was no solution. They pretty much said, "We'll see. We'll see what happens." So Shanti's still feeling uneasy about her upcoming performance. And she talks to her mom, her momager, and Mama Tina explains, like, she coined the momager phrase, like it's mom plus anger, like that's how it's spelled, momager. And Ashanti tells her mom that she's still having reservations about performing, about leaving on the plane, about leaving her baby with someone, just being away from him. And then in this scene too, it's explained that she's working with Debbie Allen, on her Motown Christmas special. Motown, not even Christmas special, but the Christmas show. And with her mom talking to her, she seems to be understanding. With Ashanti, being a first time mom, and she knows that it's going to be difficult, but she has to work. Overall, she seems to be like a really good manager. Ashanti asked her mom if she wants to take a ride with her and go pick up some extra clothes, or was it shoes? Some extra shoes for the performance. So it said an hour later, like, then her mom was in the car for this scene. And so she's driving her mom around. And the mom tells her that it's actually 3 songs, not 2 songs. And Ashanti still seems hesitant about the performance. So the mom's pretty much like, I'm prepared to be sued, like, but she's gonna pretty much go with what Ashanti wants. So on this episode, we really didn't get a solution with that. Like, do we know if she's eventually, like, is she going to perform? Because she still seems back and forth, and there was like no definite answer. Overall, I think the episode was good. I enjoyed it. I think this first episode was longer in comparison to the other episodes. So I'm going to try to watch the other episodes this weekend and binge watch those. But I think those times on the episodes were like 23 minutes. It was in the 20s. Like, it's not as long as this episode. I think the first episode is the longest episode. Um, this is my first review, so depending on how this does, I may review the other episodes as well. But I think I'm going to enjoy the show. It was a nice little surprise. It was something I wasn't expecting to, definitely not expecting to review, but also I wasn't expecting to watch. Um, with my kids running around, I don't get to watch a lot of TV. And when I do, I usually watch TV on the weekends and try to find something I can get into. But this is definitely something. It gave me a great little nostalgia seeing both of them. And also, I like love. And I love how they like seem like they're so in love this time around. Because when they were together that first time, like we knew but didn't know, like they they were like super private. So it's real cute. I think I'm gonna like it. If you want me to review more, just comment um, and like. Bye, guys.